Hello, I'm Rebecca the Maths Lady and welcome to this video which is all about teaching children about data tables, pictograms and bar charts. In this video I'm going to explain why these three topics form a group. I'll explain how we teach children about setting up data tables, how we ensure they're drawing brilliant pictograms and deeply understanding them, and how we ensure they can draw and deeply understand bar charts. There are no particular videos you need to have watched before this one, so let's get started. Now, these three topics, data tables, pictograms and bar charts, fit together because they are all about categorical data, or qualitative data as it's more properly known. It's about having different things like vanilla ice creams and strawberry ice creams and so on, and counting how many of each of those you have. And in our data tables, we're gathering that data and then we're presenting it either with pictograms or with bar charts. It's not about measuring things, whether that's time, length, or whatever other type of measure that you would plot on a scale. I'm going to cover that type of data management in the next video. So the data tables children need to set up to gather and organise information are frequency tables. And you want to use this word frequency as often as possible to mean how many, or how many in a specific unit of time. And children will need to set up frequency tables with three columns. The first is the titles or the names of the things they're gathering data on. The second is the tally, so as they gather their data they can tally each result. And the third is the frequency column where you count up your tallies. So as I mentioned before, a classic one would be what flavour ice cream people prefer. So you'd set up your table like this, with a very clear title, frequency table for favourite ice creams in my class, flavour, tally and frequency. And your flavours may be chocolate, vanilla, strawberry and so on. This can extend downwards and you can add in more titles if you find that someone's got a different result. And you need to go around the class. If you're doing this and everyone's gathering data, it's helpful to give people a list of the names of people in the class so they can tick it off as they go, because if everyone's on the move this is really tricky. And as they do that they tally what people say and so on, and when they get to the end they count up those tallies to complete their data table, and that is a frequency table. So you may have a topic that you're investigating in science that children need to create frequency tables for, or you can get them all doing surveys of their friends in class, gathering data that they're interested in, and you can give them some suggestions. And of course it's great to come back and do this quite a few times during the year. A lovely one I often see is at sports day. The teams are in this column, and as different people win races and score points, the points that they get are tallied up and the totals are found this way. It's a really nice way of embedding the development of frequency tables as data tables. And once we've gathered our data, we can go on and present it in pictograms or in bar charts. If you just look at the titles and the numbers, hopefully you can quickly see how that could work. And it is a great idea to use whatever data your children have gathered and to guide them onwards into presenting it in pictograms and bar charts so that they can see both and really tie this topic together. But it's also important to give children some freedom to explore and develop their own interests as they work on data, and hopefully this will come at a different stage in the year. So instead of carrying on with the ice creams example, I'm going to swap across and show what might happen if you give children some freedom to work on data presentation on their favourite topic. So I'm here in Liverpool today and most things are all about football, which is why we've got this built with the magnetic polydron. So you may find that a child chooses to do their pictogram on top goal scorers for Liverpool last year. And the key with pictograms is that they have to get all the essential elements of their pictogram right. It will need a title, it will need a key, all the pictures will need to be the same size, and the pictures will need to be evenly spaced. So first of all, the title needs to be very clear. Here I've got pictogram to show goals scored by Liverpool's top goal scorers 2019 to 20. The title should say what kind of graph you're using and it should precisely lay out what information is in it. Next we need the names of the top goal scorers. We've got Mo Salah, Sadio Mane, Roberto Firmino and Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. And the scale I've used here is 1 football for 4 goals. And of course we need a key for that. And hopefully you can imagine that a child could take real pride in developing this beautifully and in colouring it in and in having ownership of it. But in order to do that, they need to have already been trained to get these components right. A clear title, a key, everything evenly spaced, and all the pictures the same size. Now the best way to do that is actually to show them some pictograms where those things are wrong. And it's on my list to create a worksheet where there are examples that do that. So you can give children those worksheets and say, what's wrong with each one? How could you improve it? And let them work on that before they do their display work that they're really, really proud of on the topic that interests them. So when I've created that worksheet, you'll find a link to it in the description of this video, below the video. And if I've forgotten to do it and you want to prompt me, just leave a comment saying, Rebecca, please will you do that worksheet? And I'll try and prioritise it. And any data that can be shown with a pictogram can also be shown with a bar chart. That's why these topics are all together. So we'll need the title bar chart to show goals scored by Liverpool's top goal scorers in 2019-20. And then the name of the goal scorer will go along the bottom of the bar chart, and we'll need a scale up the side. And it's essential that the numbers go on the lines. That's another common mistake that's made. Children tend to put numbers in the gaps and they need to go on the lines with bar charts. So it's going to look something like this. Bar chart to show goals scored by Liverpool's top goal scorers 2019-20. We have number of goals up the side. We've got players as the title along here. We've got a nice scale up the side that's on the lines. And we've got the names of the players in here. And the bars are all the same width and are evenly spaced. So once again, I need to create a worksheet that exposes the different things that you can do wrong. And that's on my list, and you can prompt me if I've not done it yet. There should be a link to it in the description. But your checklist is a clear title, a scale up the side with the numbers on the lines, and the numbers must be evenly spaced. Titles on both the axes saying what they are, the names of the people or categories along the bottom, and the bars must be evenly spaced and they must be the same width. There's a couple of things left to say. Children are expected to make decisions about data presentation. So once you've taught them this topic, you need to come back to it in a different context, possibly in a different subject. It could be science, geography. There are lots of options where children will need to gather data and present it, and they're expected to use these skills instinctively and get it right. So don't forget to create an opportunity for them to embed their knowledge in that way. And the final thing is that they are expected to interpret graphs. So a question might be, how many more goals did Mane score than Wijnaldum? Or how many goals did the top 3 goal scorers score between them? So in this video, I've briefly explained why these 3 topics of data tables, which are frequency tables in this context, pictograms and bar charts, fit together, because they're all about gathering and presenting categorical or qualitative data. I've explained what you have to get right with a pictogram and what you have to get right with a bar chart, and some of the kinds of activities that we do with children. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you've got any suggestions or ideas, please add them in the comments. Your comments are always welcome. I hope you'll join me again soon for another video. The full list of videos is at www.authenticmaths.co.uk/videos. The next video in this series will be on the continuous measure data and how we present that. Enjoy your teaching. Bye for now.